Hey guys, and welcome back to the vlog. So today it is June 1st and I'm excited. I am starting my round 2 of Whole30. I know some of you all came across my channel with my latest video in regards to my weight loss when I did my first Whole30 experience. And so I'm here to let you know we are doing it together. So if you need an accountability partner, I'm here. So today's video, I'm going to share with you all my initial weigh-in because that is what you need to do before you start, so you can get a general idea of where you were before you began and where you want to be at the end, or where you actually will be at the end. So I'm going to share with you all my weight and the measurements. Now I will say this, I probably gained 5 pounds since my last video, because once I finished the Whole30 I was at 183 pounds. And so today I am currently at 189 to 200. So I'm not happy about that, but we are human. We're gonna gain weight, we're gonna lose it, but the main goal is to make sure that we continue on our path to a healthy lifestyle. So with that being said, I'm also gonna share with you all my grocery haul. I'm going to get everything that I need for the Whole30 because I know a lot of you all are unfamiliar with the program. And so I'm gonna share with you all the things that I buy in order for me to survive for the 30 days. And last but not least, my meal prep. I'm excited about that. I look forward to it because that eliminates the need for me to wander off and eat things that I shouldn't, and I already have the meal before me, and therefore it's done, prepared, and all I have to do is eat it. So let me go ahead and share with you what I currently weigh, and then I'm going to go to the grocery store and get everything that I need. Okay, so let's see where I am today. I might be right. I could be at one. Oh wow, that's not right. 185. Let's try that again. Okay, let's try it again. Wow, there's no way I lost 5 pounds. 3 days ago I was at 189. Okay, I'll take it. High five. That's right. No way. I'm sorry. I gotta do it. I have to do it. Let me make sure there's nothing underneath the scale, because I feel like I'm being bamboozled right now. There's no way I'm at 185. One last time. Third time's a charm. Okay, see, I knew I was right. 189. Before I take my measurements, I want to briefly talk about Melissa Hartwig's book. She is the co-author of Whole30, and I think this is a great book to start off with. This is not sponsored, by the way. I'm just sharing this with you guys because I had a very successful Whole30 experience, and I think this is a great book to have. Now, this book will allow you to write down your thoughts and your experiences. It will also ask you about your mood swings each day. So it starts from day 0 all the way up to 30 days, and then life after Whole30. The book also gives you tips, hacks, and tricks and inspiration so that you can successfully complete Whole30. So that's my thoughts about that. Now for my measurements today, I'm just going to measure my bust, my waist, and my hips. And hopefully, you know, you guys know how to take your measurements, but if you don't, that's okay. I have no problem sharing this with you all to include my stats, my numbers, because this is a journey. This is my journey. And I'm sure that I can motivate and inspire other people to, you know, live a healthier you. So I'm just going to make sure my tape measure is around parallel and flush towards my skin. And I'm just going to take the most protruding portion of my bust line, and today I'm currently at 39 inches around. So I would like to be somewhere between 38 or 36-ish, but baby steps, okay? Now for the waist, I'm going to lift my shirt up so that you can get a better understanding of how I measure my waistline. So if you don't know where your waistline is, it is pretty much where your last rib in conjunction to where your hip bone is. So it's going to be somewhere in here. And if you want a better understanding, it's just where the indentation lies, where your hips. And you want to measure right above your belly button, but parallel to it. And so when you take your measurements, you want to do it on the exhale. I have a tendency to suck my belly in, which is natural for me. So let me do that really quick. And normally I would do this in the mirror so that I can get an accurate placement, but we're going to be just fine today. So today I'm at 35. I would like to be somewhere between 30 or 28 or 30 or 28 inches. And then for the hips, you want to measure where your buttocks protrudes the most, which is here for me, and then where your hips are the widest. So I'm just going to take the same tape measure, go around, and I'm going to try to get the placement just right. You want to make sure your shoes are off as well. and your feet are close together so that you can get an accurate read. And today I am pretty much at 45.5. So, you know, we're getting there, and I would like to be at least 40 inches around, maybe 38. But this is just a standard fiberglass tape measure. You can find it on Amazon or Walmart. And I'm also going to put all that information in so that I can get a better understanding of where my body fat is. I would like to be maybe somewhere between 25 to 23% of body fat, but you know, it will take time. And I'm also going to take an initial picture so that I can compare it to the end of the 30-day. And I encourage you all to do the same, because you will be amazed at how far you've come along when you started your program. So that's it for the measurements. Okay, I am back from my shopping trip. I know everything looks overwhelming, but it's not. I'm going to break it down for you all to understand. I know it looks simple, but I'm just going to go through it. They have a Whole30 shopping list that you can find online. It's simple to follow, and everything that you see here that is extra is based off of my own experience, and everything is Whole30 compliant. So let's start over here. I like to buy frozen vegetables. They last a lot longer than fresh produce. I think I waste a lot of money when I don't use them right away, the fresh produce that is, and so I prefer to get the frozen version. Now the veggie spirals, I use these in place of my spaghetti because we can't have any grains on the Whole30, and so this is my replacement, and I just use this for spaghetti or whatever the dish calls for. They're really good. And I have green peas down here. Now I want to point this out. This was non-compliant during the program up until a couple of months ago. You are now able to consume green peas, yellow peas, sugar snap peas, any peas you can think of. It is now compliant. So I am so glad that they are, because I have been missing them dearly. Now sliced carrots, green beans, as well as peas and carrots here, and broccoli cuts is what I have right now. I usually buy double of everything so I can reduce my shopping trips as much as I can. Now let's talk about the meat. They do suggest that you try to eat cage-free or organic type meat. However, I don't break the bank. If I see meat and it's affordable, I'm going to eat it. That's just something I want to keep in mind. What I have here today was available to me. Normally I don't buy it, but it all depends on how much they cost. As you can tell, this is $6.44, this is $5.35. In my opinion, this is fair game, but most of the times it's $10 and I don't want to spend that kind of money. So let's start with the shrimp. I have shrimp here and salmon. I have chicken tenders, breast fillets. I also like to buy the skinless chicken thighs. I don't have that today. Actually, it's in my freezer. And then meat wise, red meat, I like the top blade steak. This is one of my favorite types of meat, cuts of meat. They are very juicy and tender. Now, because we are having a meat shortage at this time, because I'm only allowed to buy 2 every shopping trip, so I bought pink salmon as well. I like to make salmon croquettes with these, or salmon cakes if you will, and I have tons of packets of tuna just in case. I like to make tuna salad with these, so I have that. I also bought some mushrooms, and one thing about the program, you are allowed to drink juice. However, it has to be 100%. So I do have 100% pineapple orange juice and the larger can here, which I like to add to certain recipes. I also have silk almond milk, the unsweet version, because this is the one that's compliant, and I add these to my smoothies. Now kombucha drink, if you're not familiar with this, it's taken me a while to get used to it, but this one right here is the green tea. I have yet to try it. You have to make sure this brand or the brands of kombucha are Whole30 compliant, because sometimes they will have sneaky sugars in them, and that is not allowed. So that's just one thing to consider. Now I do have these individual packs of guacamole, which I prefer because they don't spoil fast and they are convenient to just eat on the go, or you know, maybe a certain meal may call for it and I don't have to waste a whole entire jar of guacamole. As far as snacks is concerned, pistachios is a good one. Just make sure that the ingredients is compliant with Whole30. I know a lot of nuts are not, such as cashews. You can't even consume peanuts, but the cashews should be in their raw form, because how they roast or cook them will have certain ingredients that are not compliant. I also have Lara bars. These are only for emergencies. there's a reason why you want to tame your sugar dragon. So I only eat these if I'm on the go and I have had nothing to eat for that entire day. I would consume one of these. So I have blueberry, pecan, lemon, and cashew cookie. There are 2 other versions that are non-compliant because it has chocolate in them, which is not allowed. So just make sure you look into it before you buy it. The Adele chicken sausage, I forgot to mention this. I actually ate this because my husband cooked me breakfast for Mother's Day and I didn't want to tell him no, but it's really good. The only reason I don't eat it is because it's cased, the chicken is cased inside of a pork lining and I don't eat pork. So that's just something that I won't eat, but it is really good because I tried it. So consider that. Now, those who have watched me know that I love my Primal Kitchen line. I have just about everything in their warehouse, all the way from their classic steak sauce to their barbecue sauce, teriyaki. Their tartar sauce tastes like tartar sauce. The ketchup, ranch dressing, Greek. I have Caesar and balsamic vinaigrette. I also have the roasted garlic marinara sauce. And the garlic Alfredo sauce, which I think is new on their line, and everything here is really good. I also have the mayo. This is the chipotle lime version. They have 2 different other brands of mayo or other types of mayo. This is the only one that I've tried, and I usually make this when I add tuna to it. So I make a tuna salad with mayo. And these are my fresh produce. So I have great tomatoes for my salad. I have cucumbers. I like to slice them up thinly and marinate them in vinegar and pepper overnight, and it tastes so good. I also have plantain because I like to make homemade plantain chips. That's the closest thing I'm going to get to processed anything. So I can make homemade plantain chips. I like to buy it when it's green. That way it's more starchier. The yellower it gets, the more sweeter it is. And I don't like sweet plantain chips, so I prefer it when it's starchy. I also have baby spinach and my fresh frozen fruit here, strawberries, peaches, and blueberries. I also have Fuji apples, which are my favorite because they are a lot sweeter than most apples, and these cherries, which I only splurge every blue moon. They are so expensive. I almost bought a bag today, which was this high. I don't know how many pounds that was, but it was $10 for almost a completely full bag, and I was like, no, take it back. I'll stick with the bare minimum. And last but not least, I have the white seedless grapes, which I love as well. One thing I want to talk about is the coconut aminos. I had no clue what this was until it was introduced to me during the Whole30, and it is very good. It is a replacement for soy sauce, and it's very sweet too. It has less sodium than the normal soy sauce, and I usually add this to my cauliflower rice or my chicken adobo. So I will use pretty much a whole bottle when I make chicken adobo, and it's really good. I'm glad I came across it. And you can find this at your normal grocery store or Whole Foods if you have one near you. One more thing before I am done, I forgot about my cooking oil. So I have clarified butter here, which I made, and you can normally buy it at the store if you're willing to spend that kind of money. Normally it can cost you $7 to $10, and I don't want to spend that much for a small jar of clarified butter. So I made my own, and it was pretty much filled up to the rim. And if you don't know what clarified butter is, it's just, or ghee, which is normally what it's called, but it's just butter in its solid form without the water. So you just break it down, the water evaporates, and now you have the actual butter minus all the other things that's inside of it. I also have organic coconut milk and extra virgin olive oil. So, okay, so that's everything in regards to my grocery haul for Whole30. I hope this helped a lot of people understand what's compliant with the program, or you know, where you should start. And this will probably last me for another 2 weeks. Probably the only thing that I would need to buy again will be meat and produce. All right, so for this week's healthy meal prep, I am making chicken fajitas along with fajita veggies and cauliflower rice. This is a low carb, high fiber, high protein meal prep that I think is easy for everyone to enjoy and make, especially if you're new to meal prepping. And meal prepping has a lot of benefits, such as saving time and money. It will help you portion control your meals. You will lose weight. It eliminates the need to waste food. And last but not least, you will gain the necessary willpower to resist the urge to eat foods that are unhealthy. So I'm just going to share with you all my step-by-step instruction on how I make this week's meal prep. So these are the ingredients you will need for today's meal prep. I have thinly sliced chicken breasts, which I cut cut in half so that I can spread them out for each day. And my veggies over here, I have 2 cauliflower heads, which I'm going to pulse in my Ninja blender. If you don't have one, that's fine. You can also use a food processor, or you can go the old-fashioned route and use a box grater. Use the side with the small holes so that you can get the cauliflower into a rice consistency. And last but not least, well, it's not last actually, but I have my veggies over here, which I'm going to slice thinly along with my onions and my homemade taco seasoning. The only reason I made it this way is because certain ingredients or certain seasonings are not Whole30 compliant. You just have to make sure you read the label. I'm sure there is one out there, but I have this at home. So the ingredients calls for chili powder, ground cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, dried oregano, paprika, sea salt, and cayenne pepper, which is optional. And I'm just going to sprinkle that on top of my chicken. But first, let's focus on the veggies and get them in the pan so that they are nice and tender. So I'm going to add some olive oil to my pan and the veggies, and I'm going to saute these for about 4 to 6 minutes until they are tender. You don't want to cook them too long. So at this point, I season my chicken breast with the taco seasoning on both sides. I'm going to add it to my skillet here. I did add a small amount of olive oil and some ghee, which is the homemade version that I made. And I like to add this to my pan when I cook chicken. It makes it more flavorful, juicier, tender, and that's just how I like to cook it. So I'm just going to cook the chicken until it is cooked all the way through. So I've already cleaned and dried my cauliflower, and if you're using a food grater, it's best to just keep it whole and grate it that way. But since I'm using a food processor, this is the easiest step for anyone to do to make it into a rice-like consistency. And once I'm done, I'm going to drain the excess moisture out. That is how you get the rice nice and tender. And then afterwards, I'm going to transfer them into my pan and saute it for about 5 to 8 minutes. So once the cauliflower is grated, you can do either 2 options. You can pour the cauliflower rice into a towel and then squeeze out the excess moisture, or you can do what I choose to do, which is a little easier for me. I'm just going to get my colander here and pour the cauliflower into the strainer and just press on this until some of the moisture is completely gone. And I'm just going to add some of the seasoning that I used earlier, the taco seasoning, just to give my rice some flavor. You can add whatever you like: cilantro, lime, garlic powder. It's all up to you. But since I want to keep this dish kind of the same, this is what I'm going to add to mine. And that should be good. I am done with today's meal prep. Everything was simple and easy, like I said, and it looks so delicious. So is the rice. Adding that taco seasoning just kicked it up a notch. So I'm going to just go ahead and plate this. The chicken is nice and juicy, and I'm just going to put them in my containers, and we're going to call it a day. Alright everybody, if you made it this far, we are now at the end of today's vlog. If you started Whole30 this month, let me know. I want to find ways to encourage and motivate you to continue to push through the 30 days. I know it can be difficult, but don't worry about how long it takes. Appreciate the process. Learn to know who you are, learn about the foods that you're eating, and take the time to just get yourself mentally and physically set and prepared for the life changes that are going to happen during this moment and time frame. So if you want to see more meal prep ideas, Whole30 recipes, let me know. I'll be happy to share that with you guys. And until then, if you're not subscribed, join the family, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then guys, bye.